Good evening, everyone. The May 22nd, 2024 meeting of the Anne Arundel County Council is called to order. The purpose of this meeting is to hear testimony on the proposed FY25 County General and Board of Education budget. Please ensure all phones and electronic devices are set to silent. We will begin with the invocation. Ms. Fiedler will lead us.
Lord, help guide our decisions in this budget process as we hear those before us this evening. Help us to be kind, patient, thoughtful, and remember our commitment to serve our constituents tonight and with all actions we take here in these chambers. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there any item any council member would like to place on the agenda this evening? May I have a motion that the partial reading of any bill, resolution, amendment to a bill or resolution, or minutes constitutes the reading of the whole?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Madam Secretary, please read the titles of the budget bills for the benefit of our members of the public.
Bill number 3324, an ordinance concerning annual budget and appropriation ordinance of Anne Arundel County. Bill number 3424, an ordinance concerning tax levies, special community benefits district, short erosion control districts, and waterways improvement districts. Bill number 3524, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Arundel Gateway Special Taxing District. Bill number 3624, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Arundel Mills Special Taxing District. Bill number 3724, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Dorchester Special Taxing District. Bill number 3824, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Farmington Village Special Taxing District. Bill number 3924, an ordinance concerning tax levies, National Business Parks Special Taxing District. Bill number 4024, an ordinance concerning tax levies, National Business Park North Special Taxing District. Bill number 4124, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Two Rivers Special Taxing District. Bill number 4224, an ordinance concerning tax levies, Village South at Wall Chapel Special Taxing District. Bill number 4324, an ordinance concerning fee for switch local exchange access service, CMRS, and other 911 accessible service. Bill number 4424, an ordinance concerning construction code, Department of Inspections and Permits, fees. Bill number 4524, an ordinance concerning public works, utilities, metered water and wastewater charges. Bill number 4624, an ordinance concerning public works, solid waste collection, solid waste service charge, solid waste landfill, and facility delivery fees. Bill number 4724, an ordinance concerning finance, taxation, and budget, income tax. Bill number 4824, an ordinance concerning property tax and semi-annual payment service charge. And Bill number 5324, an ordinance concerning public works, utilities, water and wastewater, capital facility recoupment charge, capital facility connection charges.
Thank you. Before we open the public hearing, I would like to remind everyone in attendance, whether testifying or as a member of the audience, we must maintain decorum at all times. We have a couple of individuals who are here to make brief statements about the budget. First, we have Mr. Chris Trumbauer, our county budget officer.
Good evening, Madam Chair. If it pleases the council, I have my remarks tonight, but they were abridged. Rather than read the same remarks from last night, I can do the Cliff Notes, if that's okay.
We appreciate new material. Thank you.
Very good. Madam Chair and members of the County Council, for the record, I'm Chris Trumbauer, Budget Officer for Anne Arundel County. Thank you for the opportunity to give a brief overview of County Executive Stuart Pittman's proposed budget for fiscal year 2025. The fiscal foundation of Anne Arundel County remains strong. This is reflected once again by receiving this year the Triple Crown credit ratings of AAA from the three major credit agencies, as well as our projections for ending another year with a healthy fund balance. In fact, County Executive Pittman has declared the overall theme to this proposed budget to be staying strong. This year's proposed general fund budget is $2,312,436,300, an increase of $175.1 million, or about 8.2% compared to the adopted budget for fiscal year 2024. However, subtracting out the $45.4 million of incremental fund balance and one-time revenue, this represents a $129.7 million increase, or 6.5%. The FY25 proposed budget is balanced and there is no structural deficit. All recurring expenses are being paid for with recurring revenues. The FY25 budget continues the responsible fiscal management that Anne Arundel County is known for while delivering essential investments in the services and infrastructure on which residents depend. As County Executive Pittman outlined in his budget address, this year's budget makes key new investments in several areas: public safety, public education, health and human services, and core government services. Highlights can be found in the Budget Highlights document on the county budget web page. The proposed budget fully funds our annual pension and retiree health care contributions and continues the county's policy of maximizing our contribution to the Revenue Reserve Fund at 8% of the forecasted operating revenues. The county successfully negotiated agreements with all 11 of its bargaining units. The proposed budget also includes a 3% cost of living adjustment for non-represented employees and the same for contractual workers. The proposed budget also supports our vibrant library system and world-class Anne Arundel Community College with new funding of $1.7 million and $2.4 million respectively. Proposed county utility rates have modest increases consistent with the program adopted in the current budget year. These new rates can be found in the budget book. In addition to the operating budget, the 6-year capital improvement program is before the County Council now. The proposed capital budget is well within all of the county's debt affordability guidelines and is more than $10 million under our affordability limit for the cumulative 6-year program. To support the expenditures in the FY25 budget, the county executive has proposed the following tax rates. The county's property tax revenue cap calculation provides for a rate of 98.3 cents per $100 of assessed value, and the county executive has proposed a rate consistent with that amount. This is a very small increase from the current rate of 98.0 cents and remains the lowest rate among the Big 6 counties. The proposed local income tax rate remains unchanged at 2.7% for taxable income up to $50,000 for single filers and $75,000 for joint filers. For single filers, taxable income above $50,000 and below $400,000 is currently taxed at a 2.81 rate. The FY25 budget proposes a modest increase to 2.94% for that income range. For joint filers, the 2.94% rate is proposed for taxable income between $75,000 and $480,000. The current tax rate of 3.2% remains unchanged for taxable income above $400,000 for single filers and $480,000 for joint filers. On average, county residents pay the 5th lowest rate in the state. The rates for the county's hotel tax, recordation and transfer tax, and rideshare fee are proposed to remain unchanged. The county's 911 fee, which is applied to mobile phone bills, is currently 75 cents, the lowest in the state. The FY25 budget proposes a 25-cent increase to $1 to support our 911 efforts. And finally, the county executive is proposing a new fee schedule for permitting fees, which have not been updated since 2003. In closing, I thank you for this opportunity to present a budget overview. The county executive and the entire budget team look forward to working with the county council and the auditor as we work together to strike a budget to meet the priority needs of our county residents. Copies of the entire budget, including budget highlights, are available on the budget office website at www.aacounty.org. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from the CEO of our library system, Mr. Skip Auld. You can introduce your team when you get up to the table.
It's good to see everyone. Thank you. Chair Pickard and members of County Council, I am Skip Auld, Chief Executive Officer of Anne Arundel County Public Library. First of all, I want to introduce Betsy Bender of Severna Park, who volunteers with our foundation. Welcome, Betsy. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce the first ever student member of the Library Board of Trustees, Miss Linda Gale. Linda is a senior in the International Baccalaureate program at Annapolis High School and a South County resident of District 7 like myself. Linda won the top honor in the Scholarships for Scholars program out of more than 400 students who applied. She'll be attending the University of Pennsylvania in the fall and is planning to major in international relations. As an ex officio member of the Board of Trustees and an employee who is appointed by the Board of Trustees, I am honored to present Trustee Linda Gale.
Thank you. Good evening, council members, and thank you, Skip, for the introduction. Our libraries are cornerstones of our community and our democracy. One example is our kindergarten readiness programs, which have benefited so many people, including myself. And these programs are only made possible by our extraordinary staff. I'm here today to thank the county executive for funding nearly all of the staff market rate adjustments in his proposed budget. And I'm also urging the council to finish the job and find an additional $302,000 to fully fund the library's request to fairly compensate our employees for their important work. I'm sure all the library users here tonight share my gratitude for our incredible staff. During the pandemic, they went above and beyond and continue to do so. Each day, library staff support people in crisis and help us live better lives. They teach people to navigate the internet and secure employment. They strengthen our communities, but aren't paid at market rate. Many AACPL employees are paid on average 12% less than their colleagues in other library systems, and more than half our staff aren't compensated at market rate. Of that group, many have decades of service but have maxed out on what they can be paid and must leave the system for increased pay. To maintain a high level of service and attract the best staff, we must compensate all library employees fairly. We've made major progress in the last year, and let's take that further today. I ask you to think of the staff at your local library and the brightness they bring to your day. Please help us pay them what they've earned. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations and good luck to you next year.
Note that Linda's family is here as well, and so we all appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Next, we'll have Nicole Disney Bates, President of the Teachers Association of Anne Arundel County.
All right. Hello, Chairwoman Pickard, County Council members. Thank you for providing me with the speaking spot. I am Nicole Disney Bates, TAC President, and this is one of my last engagements speaking as TAC President. I guess the heat is on to make sure the speech is good. I want to thank you first for your commitment to education. I can take my Wayback Machine to the recession of '08. The back steps, the increase in health insurance, the spousal surcharges, the no COLA years and the low COLA years, the no steps and the mid-year steps. And you, the County Council, with the Board of Education, have tried to make these things right, and you did. I know it was no easy task, and there are not enough thanks that can be given. But now, I have to tell you, I'm leaving AACPS, my educational home, the system that hired me when it was not so easy to find a job as a teacher. Can you even imagine? The system that grew me as an educator, supported me, and let me ask, even encouraged me to ask the tough questions, gave me the opportunity to fiercely advocate for my students and use that same fierce advocacy for our teachers and related service providers. But I'm leaving because of one word: uncertainty. When I did not win the election, the bridge ironically collapsed at the same time, and my commute was added on to. That uncertainty started to creep up and creep in, but I was committed to staying. Then we started to hear about our health insurance and the future of our health insurance. While the one-time infusion will help, will it be enough? There is still a hole, and I still have kids who need braces, a kindergartner with celiac disease, and a family who depends on me for insurance. So with a hole and rising costs, what happens next? Hopefully, things will straighten out with your help, but you can never be sure. What about our steps and our COLAs? We've had some really, really good years, but I have not forgotten about the bad years. Will those be returning? We can look around and see the definite possibility of a return. If it can happen in Howard, in Calvert, it can happen here. So County Council members, you have been gifted with a superpower, one that only you have. While this uncertainty plagues us, will you be the cure? Will you help us write the fund? Will you make sure that we keep up with inflation? Only you know the answer to this. Only you know if students will be waving hello to their new teacher on the first day, only to say goodbye, not see you later on their last. I hate to leave. I hate to abandon the county that grew me, the friendships that I've developed, and my story, it's my own, just one of 6,500 members. But I am the one saying, please make things a certainty, so it's not goodbye, it's see you later. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now open our public hearing on the proposed FY25 budget. We do have 2 people signed up ahead of time. I'll call on those individuals, and then we'll allow anyone in the audience who did not speak at our first budget public hearing to share their 2-minute remarks as well. I have Julia Bonds and Philip Ateto. Are you here tonight? Okay, well, is there anyone here in the audience that is prepared to give testimony this evening? You may come forward. We have 6 seats. You can just, the first 6, and then we'll go from there. Go ahead, state your name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes.
Carrie Moran, I'm a Serrano Park resident. Good evening, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Carrie Moran, I'm a Serrano Park resident and work in school health services serving the Annapolis area. I would like to thank County Executive Pittman for including paid holidays, a raise in pay, and matching retirement plan for our school health employees in his budget proposal. Most would deem these benefits as typical for any healthcare professional and any staff that work in school. Our neighboring counties like Howard, PG, and Baltimore do, AACPS does, but for the past 30 years, school health has been overlooked and undervalued. These positions are seen as a job. Now is the time for the county to recognize these positions as careers and to provide these comprehensive benefits for competitive hiring and the retention of our talented school health professionals. Over 153 staff have resigned this school year. That's almost 50%. This is not sustainable for any workforce. It significantly increases money spent to hire and train new staff in a never-ending, exhausting cycle. We have had staff experience homelessness as they make a bit too much to qualify for assistance, but not enough to pay a standard rate or mortgage in this county. Others cannot go for long breaks without a paycheck, and others need retirement benefits, but most need all 3. So they leave 50% within the first year. It also directly impacts the students we serve. We manage illnesses and a wide variety of injuries that are sustained at home, injuries that are sustained in the school, as well as asthma, diabetes, seizures, mental health, substance abuse, dental issues, vision and hearing screenings, immunizations, and multiple other chronic health conditions. Our staff is not just doling out Band-Aids and ice packs, although kids really do believe they're magical cures. But we all know it's not actually the Band-Aid or the ice pack. It is the friendly, familiar, consistent faces of the health staff that provide encouragement, show they care, and believe in these students throughout their school day. For some students, our staff may be the only healthcare provider in which they have access. Students and families trust our staff to provide health education and resources on a daily basis. To build these trusted and essential relationships while improving the health of our youth cannot be accomplished with a 50% turnover rate.
Thank you. Thank you. Ma'am, you can go next. State your
Sure.
name and address for the record. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Barbara McSherry. I live at 215 Pine Avenue, Severna Park, Maryland. So 50% turnover rate and vacancies. I want you to keep the 50% in your mind because you can't run a business with a 50% turnover rate and with that many vacancies. These are our school first responders. They're on call for any medical event on campus. We hear a lot about the students. We hear about nebulizers and tube feedings and catheterizations, diabetic care, wound care, interventions, which sounds like a special center, but this is our school. Sick kids are attending school and they have a right to attend school, but they need help. In addition, though, you'd never hear about our adults that we help. These are actual people that school health helped in the school, on the school setting. The entire campus, the medical person is the people that are in the health room. A teacher was unconscious, a teacher fell and couldn't get up. A teacher had chest pain, a teacher was short of breath, a teacher slipped on the ice and broke her wrist. An office worker had low blood sugar, a teacher was not able to talk clearly. Board of Ed member came to the school for a meeting, slipped and fell, and laceration to the head. A grandmother was unconscious in front of the school when she went to pick up a child. A grandfather went to see an event, and he fell and slipped and hit his head. An HVAC worker that came to do work was lightheaded and dizzy. A custodian had a laceration to his hand when he was trying to fix something. Duct tape was not the answer, although he thought it was. Thankfully, somebody in the health room was able to aid him. We help anybody on the campus. And we have a 60% turnover rate. That's kind of crazy. These are really important people in our school, not just the children, but the adults. We care for everybody that's there. It's so important that we give a career ladder, that we give sick leave, that we recruit and retain our quality first responders in our schools. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jillian Orm. I live in Odenton, Maryland. I am asking that you please keep the proposed budget for school health services fully funded to include retirement benefits, paid holidays, and 3% supplemental increase. As of now, our county contractual nurses and health assistants have no retirement benefits, no paid holidays, and only 8 total sick days of leave. To give some numbers, in 2019-2020, the turnover rate at that time was 20%. This year, it is 45%. Since July of this year, there were 151 nurses, and 70 of those have resigned. School health services started with 167 health assistants, and 83 of those have resigned. The total cost to replace a nurse or a health assistant is approximately $4,500. School health has a vigorous recruitment and training program. School health needs retention to keep the program strong and keep familiar faces in those health rooms for our students. We respectfully ask to help school health. This needed funding will help retain the health assistants and nurses taking care of our most vulnerable county residents, the students. And thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. Sir?
Hello, my name is Ellie Nelson. I live at 45 Town Pines Court, Annapolis, Maryland. I work at AACPL. I work at our county library systems, and I'm here to urge you to not only fully fund our market rate adjustment, but also to increase staff. We have had a materials budget that has increased quite a bit in the last few years, but the staff is not there to compensate for that. It leads to us constantly just slightly behind on projects, things that we should be looking forward to so that we can do proactive service for the community, fall between the cracks as we are only able to get a project barely done in the time that we'd like to get it done. I myself have been working at the library doing reports. I started right when the Rivera Beach Library was announced, and I was told it was going to be my first year project. That fell behind several times due to construction delays, but Each of those delays also had knock-on effects for our materials team. Each one meant that there was another round of ordering, another round of lines, another set of vendors that needed to be contacted, and all of that takes additional time in which we're not able to be serving the community. I think that we serve a vital role and that these small staffing increases can really let us use our budget to the greatest effect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This panel is dismissed. At this time, if there's anyone else in the audience that wants to come forward, we have 6 seats. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, Maria Cote, Autumnwood Drive, Gambrels. I'm here speaking for the teachers who cannot be here. The teachers working night school because they have to have a second job. The teachers bartending or waitressing because they have to have a second job. The parents who are unable to attend because they have children who have to go to sporting events or whatever their children are involved in. Just to let you know that just because there's only 6 of us here or 8 of us, that doesn't mean that the rest of the teachers in Anne Arundel County aren't upset by where we're at with the COLA after, as again, Nicole mentioned, years of bad COLAs. The total COLA that we've gotten over the last 6 years is at least 3% less than what the actual inflation has been. So I just wanted to put it into your heads to try to, if we can increase that, to find the funding for that. And again, find funding to help out with the health insurance, because that is going to cut into the COLA that we are receiving. It's going to mean that basically our raises are very little. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
Hi, good evening. My name is Will Johnson. I'm come from Laurel, Maryland. Today I come here to passionately advocate for fully funding our budget, and to advocate for teacher pay and salary equity. While the county executive has allocated funds for middle school sports, we must address a far more urgent issue: the inadequate compensation our dedicated teachers face due to frozen steps and persistent inflation. As a teacher, I struggle to pay my rent month to month. And at the beginning of the school year, when my car broke down, I had to get significant assistance from family to pay for a new car. With the 3% COLA a step and the proposed increases to healthcare costs for next year, we're looking at an increase in our paycheck that does not keep up with inflation. This raises a critical question. Is this enough for our educators shaping our children's future? Our educators are the backbones of our educational system and our community. They dedicate countless hours to ensuring each student receives quality education, yet many are forced to live paycheck to paycheck. This is not just a financial issue. This is a matter of justice and respect. Fully funding the budget for our teachers' salaries is an investment in our entire community. We must invest in properly compensating our educators, which ensures we retain talented professionals essential to our students and our school success. It boosts morale and provides the financial stability needed for teachers to focus on what they do best, in educating and inspiring our youth. By ensuring our teachers are fairly compensated, we are directly investing in the quality of education our students receive. Well-paid teachers are more likely to stay in the profession, reducing turnover and maintaining continuity in our schools. I urge you to fully fund the budget, but not only for our teachers, but for our students. We deserve to live with dignity and financial security from economic hardship. Let's demonstrate our commitment to education, not just in words, but in actions and not funding priorities. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, based on prior calls up for testimony, this is the last call for testimony at at our budget hearing this evening. Thank you, sir. When you're ready, you may begin.
Okay. Smelled a little different last time I was in here. I'm here to strongly urge you to look at other solutions and alternatives other than the police to address public safety as you work on our next budget. After I saw Executive Pittman is making our police the highest paid in the state. All the data shows the police don't prevent crime, and even their rate of solving crimes or clearance rate is pretty poor. Crime policing is based in fear, not facts. A Reuters article titled, "Police are not crime fighters," primarily says, in 2016, a group of criminologists conducted a review of 62 earlier studies of police force size and crime between 71 and 2013. They concluded 40 years of studies consistently showed that the overall effective size for police force size on crime is negative, small, and not statistically significant. Real News Network is doing a multi-article study examining past 32 years of police and crime data in Baltimore to determine the efficacy of various police strategies, so I highly suggest you check it out. Ask yourself, what is keeping our community members from stealing and murdering each other across the county? Is it because the police are hiding in bushes ready to stop them? Do the safest communities have the most police? No, they have the most resources. If everyone has a decent place to live, enough food, enough money to go out and do something fun with their loved ones, how likely are people to go out and rob, steal, and kill? I've heard elected officials say that a budget is a statement of values. So what values does it reflect when our budgets invest so much in punishment and not prevention and cares? Create more cops, get more criminals, you get what you invest in. And put more police in already over-policed neighborhoods with high poverty, and you'll get more criminals who are members of our community who are struggling to survive committing crimes of desperation. And yes, sometimes these communities ask for more police, but what resources and alternatives to solve these problems have we given them other than police? As this recession kicks into high gear and we get further into late-stage capitalism and working class people are further financially squeezed, let's remember if we were in a situation where we were seriously struggling to survive, we might steal and commit some of these crimes ourselves. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. To me, it's insane to pay police signing bonuses and beyond insanity to pay off their signing bonuses from other places. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just look around the country at what's being doing in other laboratories of democracy. Green social housing, land trusts, universal basic income are all, the living wage are all investments in crime prevention and public safety.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am?
Hi.
State your name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes.
Yes, it's Maria Hartman. I live at 795 Blenheim Court, Serena Park. Thank you. With respect to this gentleman with me, one of the things I thought was most important is to make sure that we have safety funding, and I'm asking you to do that and balance the budget at the same time rather than increase taxes, because this is like a really old thing that people say, but it seems to me that when I hear we should have progress, but we should also have tradition, it just makes sense to say, okay, we have people coming in, there's a lot increasing, we have some really good police, and they're doing a really good job in a lot of places. So that's great, but I mean, I heard them testify, and they really are they need what they need. So anyway, I don't want to digress. I simply want to say, I think you can get funding for teachers. I think you get the requisite funding for police. I think a lot of teachers are leaving. We have teachers who live on my street. We have teachers who work at all levels of education, from public to private, community college, et cetera. And what I'm hearing is that my friends who are teachers have problems not with in fact, it's not with what they're being paid. Not to say that some people aren't having troubles, and everybody is, even the people paying property tax and all else. But they have problems with discipline, and they have problems with the policies, and they're at their wits' end and don't feel like they can really speak out a lot of the times. I really would like to see that you be very careful about dividing up your issues, getting rid of some layers of administration, perhaps, so you can fund all these different things as well as you can. I mean, and do it in a way that is that really works out for all the different people involved, but not promoting anything that has a lesser return on investment. You're putting so much into it. That go back to basics. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You did perfectly well. Did you want me to mention? What is his name? My colleagues, Mr. Sundell, did you want to testify this evening? You're just in time for last call, sir. No problem.
Allowing me to testify, I'm a retired macroeconomist with the federal government, and I, try to be a pragmatist. I'm a registered Democrat, but I've had it with the state Democratic Party and the never-ending taxathon that goes on. And the big problem, and they stuck you with it, the blueprint for education, to have a $38 billion bill and not give the county any discretion, to me, is totally wrong. And so then we see our county executive wants to raise the budget by 8.2%. And inflation as measured by the CPI for the Baltimore and Maryland region, it went up 2.9% last year, and it's probably going to go down to 2.7%. But that's still a 5.5% increase when the best guess on Maryland's population that it's went up 2 or 3/10 for Anne Arundel County. So I know it. Other than what is mandated that you have to spend on the education side, I would really like you folks to be very tight, because Maryland is losing people. They're emigrating from the state. Especially, Maryland is losing 0.4%, but it's very high in retired and higher income earners. So just raising taxes is not the answer.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing on the proposed FY25 budget. Is there any other business any council member would like to bring before the county council at this time? May I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. The county council is adjourned until May 23rd, 2024 at 9 a.m. when we will meet virtually to continue with our department budget presentations. Remember to check the county website for important information and updates on our meetings. Thank you and have a great evening.